I'm Chadwick Jones, reviewer. No! 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 Extraordinaire. Let's talk about RoboCop. A science fiction satire of 80s culture, RoboCop is a classic film cherished by millions of nerds. The movie is rich with clever ideas and great practical effects. Yeah, when I saw that, I knew I was in for a great movie. The film spawned a decent remake, 2 TV series, and a batshit crazy sequel written by Frank Miller. Yeah. That Frank Miller. To be honest though, it isn't bad. In fact, it might be better than the original. But we aren't here to watch that movie. No! Today we're here to watch a movie so bad that Peter Weller refused to show up and reprise his role as the title character. So bad that the main actress, Nancy Allen, only agreed to do the script because she could get killed off halfway through. So bad that it caused the stock market crash of 1929 and the Kennedy assassination. I may have made that last part up, but it's still bad! And you know what the worst part is? Just take a look at the rating. That's right, PG-13. Just in case you didn't know, both of the other movies are rated R, and with good reason. So can you imagine how fans must have felt learning that the next movie is trying to appeal to a younger audience? Fuck teenagers. I want my RoboCop movie to be good. Well, since the movie is starring some nobody actor, then it must also be written by some nobody writer. Let's see here. Written by Fred Decker and Frank Miller again? Okay. Well, whether you like Frank Miller or you think he's crazy, most will admit that he is neither boring nor predictable. So this ought to be good. We open up on a know-it-all computer kid who will fight with RoboCop this evening. Of course I have a character like this. I mean, the one thing I thought that first movie was missing was an annoying child sidekick. Like Short Round in the Temple of Doom, or that kid in Blues Brothers 2000, or young Anakin in The Phantom Menace. Really, it's the only logical thing to do. Everyone knows that more kids will watch their movie if there are child characters. It's not like kids live vicariously through heroes like John McClane. My favorite character when I was a kid was Mara Wilson from the remake of Miracle on 34th Street. You know, I like Iron Man 3, but a lot of people didn't, and there is one moment where I have to agree. There is this wise-ass kid about halfway through the movie, and Tony Stark, like an idiot, decides to leave him behind. It was a missed opportunity. They could have, had that kid stand around doing nothing the entire time while Tony went around and did most of the work. And at the very end, his computers could fail, and the kid would be like, gee golly whiz, mister, I own a MacBook Pro, so I could totally help you out and fix all your computers and save the day for everybody. And you see, that's also product placement in there. That's 2 things they missed, 2 things! In short, I really appreciate this in my RoboCop movie. I'm sure it'll be the best one ever. Congratulations! You just created the longest sarcastic tangent ever! Wow! What do I win? You get to watch the rest of this movie! Great. Still practicing, I see. You'll soon break your own record. Right, so we're supposed to feel that the place this girl is living in is unsafe, because of the horrible things a large corporation is doing, but I just don't notice anything wrong. See, they're nice enough to widen that window for free. So a whole bunch of commotion happens and this kid is separated from her parents. We were never fully introduced to either of them, so this plot point is almost completely useless. It serves as two things: a cheap way to get us to like the little girl, and later, a cheap way to get us to like this stiff, boring, and generally unlikable RoboCop. Now, when I first saw this movie, I hated it and knew it had to be reviewed, but now that I'm actually doing it, I realize that the problems aren't simple things like the acting or the writing. It's the crappy-ass directing. Take this moment, for example. The company OCP is going under. So around one corner, we see a guy at the window with his wife on videophone.
Can't be that bad. Honey, can you hear me? Are you there?
Now, don't get me wrong, this is very much a RoboCop scene. In fact, if this happened in the other two movies, it would be an over-the-top and silly moment. The screenplay is right, but the direction is all wrong. For whatever reason, they take this moment seriously. The guy's wife is saying things you would actually use to calm down a suicidal person. When he hits the ground, people crowd around to see if he's okay. In contrast, let's take a moment from the second movie. This one is also written by Frank Miller, but it was directed by the guy who did The Empire Strikes Back. In this scene, some Girl Scouts are performing an armed robbery on a convenience store. Notice that the movie is paying attention to the ridiculousness of the situation, rather than focusing on the money this guy is losing or the education that these Girl Scouts are missing out on. It doesn't make your movie more mature, it makes it confusing. And this suicide scene is just one of many that makes this movie a huge effort to go through in one sitting. Guys, I'm 10 minutes into the plot of this movie, and the script is already 3 pages long. Just to put that in perspective for you, the longest review I've ever done is The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars at 25 minutes. That was 5 pages long. What's happening now? Wait, Officer Lewis, RoboCop's partner, is in a showdown with a bunch of skinhead thugs, and RoboCop is on the way to kick some ass? Oh, this has gotta be awesome. I don't care how bad the direction is. If RoboCop is going around mowing down skinheads and spouting catchy lines, then it's A+ material in my book.
Called for backup.
Come on, really? I mean, I get that they can't show a huge amount of blood in order to keep their precious rating, but there was a whole group of guys for RoboCop to beat up. You don't need to show blood, you know. But the true insult was the fact that that line was clearly meant to be the kick-ass way for RoboCop to be introduced. But the delivery ruined it. God damn it, RoboCop even gets set on fire later in this scene by the remaining thugs. Yet somehow, they even made that seem kinda dull. Let me out! 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 Surely there is something good about this movie. Alright, now we're cooking. This is Automoto, a Japanese android created by the evil company that is driving people out of their homes. It's capable of clearing a room faster than the Terminator, and has a sword that puts a Hattori Hanzo blade to shame. Surely the battle between these two titans will be the awesomest thing to ever... What? You just... a few seconds?
You fucking people.
Couldn't have said it better myself. What else even happens in this movie? Well, RoboCop has feelings or something and decides to defend these rebels from Evil Co. or whatever it's called. Officer Lewis dies. Robo gets injured. They do a crappy reenactment of the first movie. It's like the director of this shitbasket really enjoyed the first movie, but has no clue what exactly made it good.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy.
Well, I gotta hand it to you. What do they call you? Murphy, is it?
My friends call me Murphy. You call me RoboCop.
Now the movie has set up an epic fight scene between the rebels and Evil Co. I'm not gonna get too excited though. Judging by the way every other action scene turned out in this movie, more than likely it's all gonna be over in less than a minute, and RoboCop might kill one person off screen. Let's just get it over with. You motherfucking piece of fucking you fucking piece of fucking car me I've done it! I'm free! There are no boundaries! I have to finish the movie, don't I? Besides, at least it wasn't predictable. But the effect does look horrible, even for 1993. Wow! Turns out that Automoto was mass-produced. There is now 2 of him. Let's see how many of you can guess the result of this battle. Number 1, a disappointing conclusion. Number 2, a disappointing conclusion. Number 3, a disappointing conclusion. Or number 4, they work hard and spend at least a couple hours designing an excellently choreographed fight scene, demonstrating the director's competence in filmmaking. For those of you who picked number 4, you clearly haven't been paying attention. Go back to the beginning of this video and watch it all again. This quiz is worth 10% of your final grade, mister. Apparently these things are equipped with a nuclear failsafe device. Why didn't that other one... oh, whatever.
Well, I gotta hand it to you. What do they call you? Murphy, is it?
My friends call me Murphy. You call me RoboCop.
I would sooner call the motorcyclist RoboCop before this freak. This movie is just painful to me. To be honest, this is one of those times where I would have preferred a phoned-in pile of crap. At least then you could ignore it like Jurassic Park 3. But this movie gets so close to being enjoyable that at times it is frustrating. If you're interested in RoboCop, maybe give this thing a view for curiosity's sakes, but only after you see the first 2. I shudder for anyone who has this as their introduction to the series. The only thing I can be thankful for is that the series died before it got embarrassing. I mean, what kind of no-brained, inexperienced dumbass directed this thing anyway? should probably look into that. But for now...
I realize that it looks bad, but maybe our plans were overambitious. Let's start a skoshi bit smaller. What'd he say?
Said you're fired.